What's up, everybody? This is the first episode of the Utter Discord podcast. It's your boy Jeremy, joined by Thomas, my co-host. And for this first episode, we have Melon and Logan.
Ayo.
So what's up, boys? We're finally doing this. So I think I've been trying to start a podcast for like 10 years now.
Couple of years
Definitely
now.
over a year, for sure.
It's been a little
I
bit.
think we had when we were doing WTTF Productions, I think we had the little test episode that we did. I think that was in like 2015? So it's been a little while since we started trying to get this going.
I don't even remember that, to be honest with you.
I went back and watched it not too long ago to kind of get myself started for this, and it was fucking dog water. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I watched the one with young Thomas talking about Siege, and you were like, yeah, it's a fun game, you should check it out. This poor guy hadn't even had the chance to play Siege yet. It was like 2015,
Bro.
2016.
Yeah, that was like...
I don't want to talk about it.
That was when we were... Yeah, Siege was different. It was different back then.
It wasn't even the same game.
It was completely different. Even if you go back like to the trailer of Rainbow Six Siege, it's completely different game. But yeah, I'm excited to start this with you guys. For this podcast, we don't really know where the conversation's going to go. We could be talking about gaming, like we started strong with gaming, conspiracies. You know, we love our Mandela effect. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. Yeah, pretty much anything. I figured we should probably start with our origins, how we all kind of met and kind of linked up.
Well,
I think I met Jeremy before I met you.
oh yeah,
Sean.
you met Jeremy way before you met me.
So I met.
The first memory I have of us was in, I think we were in PE. I think it was 7th grade, and we were both friends with Junior. I might cut his name.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to be in or not. I guess I don't say his last name, so.
Yeah.
I mean, Junior could be
Junior
anybody.
could literally be anybody, yeah.
Such a basic name.
Yeah,
But
except
yeah.
that's his actual name.
Welcome to Florida.
Welcome to Southern Alabama.
Yeah.
True.
Good old
But
Brigham
yeah.
boys.
But I met you in PE, but I don't think we really started hanging out until high school, though.
Yeah, it was Coach Jernigan's science class.
We did have that together. I forget about that class.
Yeah.
And then...
Bro, didn't he put us against the
did.
wall?
Is there like a...
Is it because we were acting up, or was that just like how it ended up?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Actually.
Is there like some childhood trauma hidden under there?
I feel like I was well behaved in that class. I think I respected
yeah, He
him.
was like one of the only respectable teachers I remember. Yeah, I don't think we really acted up until like Bondo's class.
Oh, true. Oh,
And,
what
that
about
cooking class we were in?
Was shit going
no,
down?
there
in
were- were you weren't in the coding class that I was in?
Yes, Miss Norton's class, dude. That,
Yeah, that was her. Dude, I can't remember her
that
name.
was a fun class,
Dude, she
Was shit
hated
going
me
down in
so
that class?
much.
bro.
Sometimes. I mean,
Just the
in the middle of that
antics.
bitch talking, Thomas just shot his hand up and goes, "Question!" one time.
I don't remember that at all.
And see, what's hilarious is that I wasn't even in that class with you guys. Like, I was going to the bathroom or something, and I happened to be passing by, and I saw Jeremy, and I didn't know who he was at the time. Like, I kind of recognized him, but we weren't friends. And then all of a sudden, I just heard your voice.
Dude, that and fucking Jaren, dude.
I'm white.
I love that dude. He made that class tolerable.
I just remember trauma.
But yeah, she did absolutely hate you. You and Jaren, she did not like at all. And I think Zach too. Zach was in that class with us too.
I'm pretty sure. Or it was just Bondo's. I don't remember.
Yeah, Bondo's was me, you, and Justin, I
Oh yeah, right.
But yeah, I don't think I met you, Sean, until like maybe like 10th grade, 10th or
That
11th grade.
yeah, I mean, I met you through Thomas,
Yeah.
and we had
Yeah,
a
I met you
weightlifting class
sophomore
together.
year,
Yeah.
and really the only reason why I met you in the first place was because of weightlifting, but also that was the first year I had a lunch period that I didn't know anybody, so I kind of had to make new friends.
Yeah.
That forced me to make new friends.
Yeah, I think I really only saw you in person like in like pep rallies, and then like when we had like free time, when we would all gang up and stuff. But yeah, good times. And then
We're leaving Melon out.
Melon, you came along
He's being really quiet.
here recently. When did so?
2020.
I think you came around whenever I was kind of like I was on focus on school, so I wasn't playing games too much. So I think y'all three and Devin met.
I
I
met
assume playing Siege or Tarkov.
Devin actually got me to build a PC. Devin's like one of the reasons I have a PC and started playing Tarkov.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met Devin through like there was like this weird anime we used to watch, and there's like a guy that like wore like a
Oh yeah.
he wore a shirt that said 2019 on it. This anime was from like fucking like 10 years ago. So I was going back through, and it was 2019, so I thought of that anime, and I had watched it like as a kid, and so I went and like rewatched it, and I was like, why is he wearing a 2019 shirt? I looked it up online, and there was like a Reddit, and there was like a Discord, so I joined the Discord and I asked like a question or two, and Devin was in there, and that's where I met him from. And then
Wow, I did not know that.
yeah, it's like I didn't even know anyone like that like had a PC back then. And then me and Devin like would just talk about anime all the time for like months, because that's when he was working that job where he could just like watch anime all day, basically. So he and I would just, and I was in school, so I didn't have any like real responsibilities, so we would just talk about anime all the time. And then finally in like I think it was like December of 2019, I'd started building one in October, but like I parted it out, and then I got it finally running up in like December, and then that's when I joined the Discord and then started hanging out with Sean and Thomas and stuff. But that was also
That's well.
like 3 years ago now. And then you didn't show up for a while either, because it wasn't until like I had been around for a couple months that you started showing back up, and you were like a legend to everyone there. Like when Jeremy got on, it was an event. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
he was,
you
at that,
he
at that
rarely ever
point,
got on.
Yeah, I mean, he still like he's kind of like a mythological being. Like he just kind of shows up, and we're like, oh, Jeremy's on, and then he just disappears, and we're like, man, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get like solidly back into playing and stuff for like maybe a few weeks, and then I'll disappear for like 2 months, and then go, "What's up, guys?" Although here lately, it's wedding.
Yeah, but it's because you have a life. The
Or
reason
not
why
school, but work.
the rest of us are in here all the time is because we don't fucking have lives.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
So how dare you have a life outside of the fucking
Yeah.
computer?
How fucking dare you be happy?
But yeah, that is what I love, especially because I didn't know that's how you kind of got into the group, Melon. But I love just like online culture, and like I was gonna say gaming because I assumed that's how you guys met, playing some game, but like even our whole friendship group is connected through like gaming, really, when you think about it, because I haven't lived in our hometown where us three grew up for like 11 years now, and I know Thomas, you were gone for a good while.
Yeah.
And now you're gone, Logan.
Yeah, I was gone for. I left right out of high school and lived in with my dad and lived with him for a year, and then I was gone for 7 years after that.
But that's what's great about like online gaming. Like people you don't know, like you can build such a great like connection with, like, for example, Matt, who Justin's really tight with, but like that whole group, I feel like I've known them for like years, and then I met Matt for the first time in person, and I was like, oh wow, I've known you for a couple years now, but this is actually the first time we're actually meeting in person. And it's just wild that, like, playing together every day, it's like, I forget that I haven't, like, met some of you guys before, like Melon, for example, now. But it's crazy how, gaming and, all that kind of stuff can connect everybody.
Well, you'll meet him in 2 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like that with Thomas and Devin for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thomas literally flew out to see Devin.
Well, I flew out there for school, and he lived in that area,
Yeah.
so it was like 5 minutes away. I was like, dude,
I'm in your city, bro. And he was like, pull up.
so I did.
Yeah, and I still haven't met Devin, but hopefully one day. But it's really cool. I really enjoy gaming and all, so helps strengthen that connection. Even though we're all apart, we still hang out and play. Even though it's not every day for me, but for most of y'all still get to connect every day. And then when I do pop up, it's
You know what?
that was kind of part of the inspiration for the podcast, because when we all get together, it's just an amazing time.
You know what's a trip too is like I had never even played a shooter before Tarkov. Tarkov was like the first FPS I ever played, besides like
You poor man.
Besides
Yeah,
like
what a doozy.
yeah, I know. Besides like my cousins coming over and playing Xbox every once in a while, like bringing their own Xbox. Like Tarkov was like the first game I ever played on PC, and it was like the one that like our friend group really like gathered around, because it's like we would all get on and go 5-stack Tarkov, or like we would just talk about what happened in Tarkov or what we saw other people do or what we wanted to do, and like I would just go to work or like go to school and just think about Tarkov. Like for like months on end.
Don't lie. You were thinking about going home and playing Fortnite.
No, it was for months on end I was thinking about Tarkov, and like now like none of us want to touch that game, but like how legendary that game is to me is like because of you guys and because like the friend group was like engaged in it. Even if it is a terrible Russian FPS, like it's still like
Well, I mean,
goated in my
even
heart.
to this day, like Tarkov checks a lot of boxes for what a lot of people, including me, want from a gaming experience. I mean, it's unfortunate that slowly over that time it's kind of drifted away from what they say they want to do to how they're implementing it.
Well, it's like a mechanical nightmare to play now. Everything's so different, and they've tried to balance things so much that it doesn't even feel like the same game it was. And I'm sure people that played alpha or people that played like early beta think the same way with the version of Tarkov that we got used to playing.
I mean, we technically played early beta.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when we started playing it, it was just leaving alpha.
It had been out of alpha for like a year, I think, when we started playing.
Yeah.
Which I
And now it's been 4 or 5 years since we started playing it, right?
3 years. We started playing
3
in
years?
2020.
I thought it was late 2019.
No,
I remember being 19.
It was January 2020. It was when I first played. You guys may have played a little bit earlier than me, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I came in like the wipe after you guys started.
yeah,
I know I was late on that.
because it was like we were all like,
or like the end of the whatever wave
yeah,
that we're on.
we were like veterans, like grizzled veterans at that point, and then you came in, and then we were trying to like show you the way.
Yeah, still don't know what I'm doing in it, but
It's okay. It's been so long, none of us do either.
yeah. I do have to say though, I didn't realize that was like the first like shooter you've ever played, and as much as we give you shit, you're actually pretty decent at like a lot of the shooters and stuff that we play.
Don't tell Devin that.
I'll tell him.
You're
Well,
better
I mean,
than me at
Tarkov
this,
gives
so.
you a really good base for like mechanical skills.
Yeah. It
also really helps with like your general game awareness, but unfortunately, the audio design in Tarkov kind of leaves you wanting a little bit, but still, being able to take that information and process it quickly enough and to know what to do with it is actually like a really good base to build upon for different games.
Yeah. Sound is big in FPSs nowadays.
Yeah, I booted up Tarkov just to load in the character and just kind of see what it's like. I forgot how fucking loud your character is, and it always makes me think somebody's near me, and it's like, I'll stop and let's go, oh, that's my fucking...
Yeah, like
It's
how
just
much
me.
noise you make moving around.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't hear anything else but my fucking feet.
Yeah.
Your dude fucking wheezing because he hasn't exercised in
You
6
can
months.
go into settings and
Yeah.
turn your own volume down, but I mean, other players will still hear you just as easily. But it is nice to get out of your head a little bit and tune some of the excess stuff out.
I did not know that. I need to do that.
Yeah,
I might
if you look up like
actually
landmarks,
play it a little.
or like any like reputable streamer settings, they will show you like the ideal way to play, like audio wise and like graphically, because they're getting paid to play Tarkov for a living, so they kind of
Yeah.
have a vested interest in performing well.
I don't know if it's just me like getting older, but I feel like I'm just so much worse at video games than I used to be.
Dude, I feel the same way.
Like, I've never been like great at like shooters and stuff, like Call of Duty and all that. But I remember like being okay. And like now, like if I get like when we're playing Siege, for example, if I get like 1 or 2 kills, I'm excited. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I get consistent kills because I think that's because I play it like every day. But when I get like that one really cool like clip, like that's the one for me. I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
I'm
Did
good
it,
for
boy.
like I'm okay with it. Like that's the one I got it.
Peach for the
Okay.
night. That's it.
Yeah. If I could just do one cool thing every day, I play a game for one night, like a day. Then,
I mean, I think I'm like
I'm good.
8 years younger than you guys because I'm like 22. And like I
Yeah.
can't even compete
Ooh.
with some of like the 14-year-olds that are like on Adderall playing these games. Like,
Bro, they start with tablets so young now that it's just
Yeah.
ingrained in them.
dude, they like, I don't know, like especially like if you look at like certain game communities, like I know Rust has that problem where it's just 14-year-olds that don't have like any responsibilities that are just running around in Adderall like building everything and claiming everything for themselves. And it leaks into other games too. Like there's kids that'll be like 15 and 16 in Siege, and it's like, who's letting you play this game?
There's kids younger
Dude,
than
I-
that.
Yeah, but they don't.
Yeah.
Most of them don't have mics. I think we've run into a couple like 8-year-olds that are like still squeakers on the mic.
I've run into some fucking squeakers, dude. Like that's like 10 or less.
I think you
I-
definitely at least made our 8-year-old rage quit once. You've had to by now, by the way you play.
Yeah.
I do miss like when we first, well, I'm not gonna say first started gaming, but like when we all first started gaming together, at least me, Logan, and Thomas, like
Yeah, back in the days
on
of
like the
Black
classic,
Ops and
yes,
yeah, Battlefield 3.
there was just
Yeah.
something different about games back then. I feel like as much as early access games are cool because you get to kind of see it like early on in like the development of the games, like I feel like like some of these full like retail games are coming out half done, and I feel like it's partly because of like all these early access games that are like, oh, people are going to pay for it when it's like not fully developed. But I will say, a lot of the early access games you're not paying full like retail price for them, but I still feel like nowadays games aren't like complete when they come out, and so I don't get that same thrill from playing a lot of the new games.
Yeah, like
I mean, it sucks because it's like part of it is us and like gaming society and how the internet and online connectivity has revolutionized the gaming industry. Because it's like before, if you didn't have everything buttoned up in a game, that was it. You had your silly little timeline, and if things weren't messed up or were messed up in the game, like that was it. Like you shipped the game and it was messed up and it stayed messed up. And if it was a big enough issue, it would get fixed in a later production of the game, and then you would have to like send that new copy out to anybody or allow them to exchange it in a Walmart, GameStop, whatever, and you would lose money on it.
yeah, there's a hard and fast release date, and that did not move.
Yeah, but nowadays, they stick to those crazy timelines, which have gotten, harder to maintain because games are, bigger than ever as, technology progresses. but it's like you can ship a game half baked because now you can just fix it afterward and have it in an update. Or, you know, say you couldn't flesh out a storyline or all of your features quite all right, you know, you can just shelve those for the moment, send the game out as is without those features or story, and then just sell it later for more money as a DLC.
Yeah, that's the thing that really annoys me is them just going, this is what we have now, and then we'll just sell you the rest of it just later on. Even though we've increased the price of games now to being $70 for like the base game, and then, you know, you throw in DLCs and all, you're paying like $200 for like,
Dude,
just to get the original complete game that was supposed to be.
I remember when
what it
like
was.
AAA titles were $50, and that was like the most you could spend on a game was like 50, and then it went to 60.
Dog, I remember when AAA titles were $20.
Yeah.
It's definitely changed.
Did even Switch games have gone up? The Tears of the Kingdom, which actually like was like the first Nintendo game that they increased in price.
Well, just because Nintendo's like they're stingy.
No, but like, oh,
they still sell like 20-year-old games for $60.
but yeah, but like
They do hold their value.
they're a very out of touch
high.
company. It's because it's run by a bunch of like Japanese boomers that don't understand like the Western market. Like I'm convinced
See,
that's 100%.
you say that, but on the other side of that, Nintendo is like the only company nowadays that you can count on that when their game comes out, it's fucking done.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's true, though.
It is. You have 100% the whole experience. Now there are
Or Sony
there
titles.
Are small handfuls of exceptions. When Tears of the Kingdom first released, you know, it was a little touch and go, and then a couple of the Pokemon titles lately have kind of been a little lackluster.
The Pokemon titles and the Mario sports games have been very lackluster. Mario Super Strikers, I don't know if you know this, Super Strikers is like one of the most like revolutionary, like coveted titles for the GameCube. And like
Dog, I have
say,
2 of those.
yeah,
That game was amazing on the GameCube.
The sequel,
I played the Switch.
Nintendo could have not dropped the bag harder.
Played that in a McDonald's once.
They could not have dropped the bag harder on how hyped people were for it, and then it came out and they're like, oh, this is the game, that's it. And they're like, yep, that's it. We're gonna introduce a new character and a new map, like for the next 3 months, and like patch some stuff in, and then it like they didn't even like launch the game like with like full multiplayer, I don't think. Which is like the whole reason people wanted to play it is because they have strikers and then they also have online multiplayer. Same thing with Mario Golf. Mario Golf was like really anticipated for the Switch, and then they just like kind of patched stuff in over a couple months and then just gave up on it. Same thing with the new Wii Sports game that came out, or because it's not Wii Sports, it's like
Nintendo Sports.
Nintendo Sports, yeah. That game, holy shit, did people have like the highest expectations for it? And it didn't even launch with bowling. Like they had to like add in bowling like 2 months later or 3 months later or
Yeah,
whatever
that
the
is a
time went.
missed
Like
opportunity.
how do you screw up bowling? Like you already have Wii. It's like it's just a sequel of Wii Sports, but like the spirit's not there, and they didn't even produce like the same games. So they've been fumbling the bag quite a bit.
But wasn't Wii Sports like packaged with the Wii?
Wii Sports was like a tech demo for the Wii, and people loved it. And then
Yeah,
they
I
made
feel like
the
they-
Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah, Wii Sports is like the second or third best-selling game of all time.
Yeah,
it's like
because it
Tetris.
came with like every single Wii that people bought, like, and so like they considered it a sale. So every time someone bought a console, and then every time, and then it also came with the controller too. So people would buy the game just to get a third controller. So there was like Scott the Waz does a really good video talking about the Wii and like its legacy that it left behind, and like Wii Play, and like
Yeah,
and
it
Wii
is.
Sports.
It is the 4th best-selling title of all time with 82,900,000 copies sold.
Where's Pokemon in that? Is it like number 3?
So
Which one?
Uh,
I think OG, like red, blue, yellow. One of those should be like
red, green, blue, yellow is up there with 47,520,000.
What rank is it?
Damn. And Tetris is number 1, right?
No, Minecraft
assume.
is number 1.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
So Tetris has been dethroned.
But do you think about Minecraft? Like people buy that
Is
on their
Tetris 2?
Tetris EA is number 3 with 100 million. Number 1, Minecraft, 238 million. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5 with 185 million. But that makes sense because
it does.
it's been supported
For a decade.
over 10 years now across 3 different generations of consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm be honest. I'm
Um,
surprised Skyrim wasn't too, with how many times.
Skyrim's in the list. It's number 7, I think. I take it back. It's actually not in this list, but it sold like 60 million copies.
Yeah, it'll probably
As-
get a few
as-
more remakes.
But
As Thomas put it,
again, same thing. I shouldn't say supported, but kept up with for over 10 years across 3 generations of console.
Yeah, true.
As Thomas put it, they sold enough Skyrim to make Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that
going down the
game's
list, you
good.
got PUBG at 75 million, which is kind of crazy. But
Isn't it
They're
free to play
mobile.
now?
They're
though?
really a big
Dude,
mobile.
yeah.
PUBG is like 100% played by like Chinese and like Middle Eastern people. Not even like in an offensive way. That's like the only game they play over there. It's like really
in Korea.
Yeah, it's like really big
think they're really
overseas.
big.
oh, so that's actually something we can talk about at another point is how games are marketed differently to different sections of the world. Because I have a couple of talking points about that. Continuing on the list, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Where's Mario Kart Wii on there? Is Mario Kart Wii high? That's gotta be like.
No.
Mario Kart for the Switch might be.
Well, yeah, because
I mean, this list isn't numbered, but I can go through everything that's listed here. But Mario Kart Deluxe with almost 64 million copies.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros.
And that's another one-
with 58 million.
the Mario Kart is the same story as GTA. It's been like the last Mario Kart since 2013, and then they've ported it. It's
2014,
yeah,
but yeah.
2014, and it's been 2 different consoles now, and people just keep buying Mario Kart. That's why they're still making DLC for it.
Depending on how you count it, because wasn't there a release for the DS as well?
I believe so.
There was a Mario Kart 7 for the DS. I think that
Oh,
came out
okay.
before. I think that was like 2012 or 2011.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Red Dead
is the
Redemption
newest.
2 at 55 million.
Yeah, that makes
Overwatch
sense.
and The Witcher 3 are tied at 50 million. OG Tetris. No, this is not OG Tetris. I don't know what. Yeah, OG Tetris at 48 million. Again, first generation Pokemon at 47. Terraria at 44.5 million. Wii Fit at 43 million. Going down the list, we got Animal Crossing, Pac-Man, Human Fall Flat, Mario Kart Wii, Wii Sports Resort with 33 million.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, that's like if you like
That was like Wii Sports 2, basically.
Yeah.
They gave you like, you could do like jet ski racing. There was a flying one, all the original Wii Sports stuff with just more stuff added, and you were on like an island resort.
it was just they made a full game out of Wii Sports instead of it just being a tech demo. They were like, oh shit,
Legend
people
of Zelda
like this.
Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, new Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. Wii, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, excuse me. The re-release from 2019, and Diablo 3 tied at 30 million.
Diablo
Second
3
gen
is still-
Pokemon
The new-
at 29
The
million.
new COD 2019 outsold OG Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about it.
Well,
Consoles
Warzone,
are
too.
more available.
Yeah, and I guess
That's
you
true.
have to download that for Warzone, so I guess that makes sense. And everybody was playing Warzone in the pandemic.
At least the
Yeah, there's
original,
that too.
because I think that was when they originally dropped Warzone, right? If I'm not mistaken.
You cut out. What'd you say?
Well, I mean, Call of Duty had been successful, for the first 4 games they produced
Yeah.
way back in the day. But like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was like the big turning point for them, because that was the first game with
They had a really in-depth multiplayer aside from Call of Duty 2's.
yeah.
And Call of Duty 3's was just a dumpster fire.
That was the first Call of Duty they released that had like functioning, or how do I put it, where the console could handle like a stable internet connection. That was the
Yeah.
generation of the blooming generation of online multiplayer.
Yeah, you didn't have to have a LAN cable plugged into your console.
Well, you did if you wanted a better connection. Xbox
Yeah.
360s at the time were not from the factory
They weren't all wireless.
Wi-Fi capable.
Really?
No,
No,
only
you had
the
to buy
elites
an
were.
adapter.
I had no idea.
Well,
Was PlayStation 3?
The
And-
elites, I
and-
thought, were.
Like the last generation of the elites were. The like the
Yeah.
first
The black ones,
The
right?
first one wasn't.
Okay.
And that adapter was not cheap either. It was like
not.
$100.
Yeah.
It's like the price of like 2 games.
I
And,
actually
and the
Yeah.
forgot my
bandwidth on it was
360
terrible.
It
You
was.
couldn't-
It was bad.
I couldn't
Because I can remember
connect
back
use
in the
one
day,
in my house.
Yeah, downloading one of the DLCs for Halo 3, which was only like
5
I don't
gigs,
e-
maybe.
no, it was less than that. I think it was like a gig and a half, and it took like an hour, maybe 2.
Jesus
and
Christ.
see, that was also back in the day. Like you couldn't do anything with the console while I was downloading that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that shit.
Yeah, we're talking like OG 360 experience. Like you hit the Xbox button, and you had the little tab fly over from the side
Yeah.
with the leaves you had to tab through for different things.
Mhm.
There's a
Fucking
couple of
blades.
like interesting titles in this list too. So like Telltale Games, The Walking Dead
That makes
is in
sense.
here with 28 million copies.
I didn't realize
That was solid fucking game.
I didn't realize it was that
It
popular.
was.
Yeah.
And,
it
and
was-
see, that's where
it was
I am
real
at.
big.
Like, I understand the hype behind like The Walking Dead and everything, but this has like no relevance to the show or anything else. It just shares the name and a general idea of the story.
Honestly, personally, I like the game better than I did the fucking show.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Borderlands 2, actually below San Andreas, which is kind of crazy.
That is wild because of how many. Well,
Does that also include the re-release?
I
don't
don't
know,
know
probably
because
not.
it's Handsome Collection when they re-released it.
Yeah.
So that's why I was about to say that sounds kind of crazy, but then I forgot they kind of released it under a different name. So I think if you put them both together, it would probably be competing with it higher up, but
Yeah.
with it, they renaming it the Handsome Collection. Probably not.
Blast from the Past, Super Mario World, actually outperforming Super Mario Odyssey.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, to be fair, Super Mario World did come as a tie-in with the SNES. Like when you bought that, it came either with Super Mario Kart or Super Mario World, depending on which bundle you got.
OG Mario Kart.
Yeah, like the very first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which sucks, by the way. It's not a fun game, but it paved the way, I guess.
It did pave the
Smash
way.
Bros was great.
Well, I also, when you think about it, like Super Mario Kart was also the first successful like spin-off Mario title. Because there had been a couple of others.
They had done.
There's Dr. Mario, which we're not going to talk about because it's just a Tetris ripoff,
Yeah.
It is.
and a couple of others here and there.
Super Mario 64 was fucking dope, though.
Tarkov is like Tetris. Tarkov is a Tetris
Tetris
ripoff.
Simulator.
Yeah, Tetris Simulator. There's some interesting ones in here for sure in this list. So it's like FIFA 18, Black Ops, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Sun Moon, and both of their counterparts. New Super Mario Brothers. What the fuck? U?
Yeah.
Oh, for the Wii U.
Yeah.
And Luigi U Deluxe. Grand Theft Auto 4 is like further down than San Andreas, which is kind of strange. But I mean, San Andreas like revolutionized the Grand Theft Auto. Like, I don't think Grand Theft Auto could become what it is now without San Andreas.
Did San Andreas come out before 3?
Came out in 2005.
It was after 3,
After the
And
before
Vice City. No, it's
Or
3
after
Vice City, then San
that's right.
Andreas.
You're right.
Yeah.
Vice City came out in what, 04?
Like 2003.
03?
Yeah.
And San Andreas was what,
04.
Five?
Hang on, I gotta find it in this list again.
San Andreas
October
was released
26th,
twice, by the
2004.
way, before its remaster. It came out on original Xbox, and then when the next generation consoles came around, which was right after it came out, they ported it to 360
Oh,
again.
like GTA 5?
Yeah. I'm not sure if they did that with PlayStation 3. I know it was on PlayStation 2, though.
I didn't even know they ported it up to the new console generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably, what, like 3-4 years ago?
I bought a copy of it after I got my 360. My dad let me buy it. Because I was still really young
Oh, they
at the
ported
time.
it to the 360?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Oh, I'm
Then
thinking
you
of
got-
the remasters on Steam. Actually, they might have did it on all the consoles.
I heard that
Yeah.
remaster got reviewed very unfavorably.
Because it wasn't a
Half-baked.
remaster.
Yeah, it was
It was just a
literally just like
reskin.
they just took all the games, doubled whatever the original console processing power was to make everything look slightly better, and then just sold it.
Yeah. It looks worse in some cases.
Really?
Like it's so
Yeah.
bad they ripped all of like the original dialogues and audio and everything and just plugged it into the new one. Like they didn't redo any of that.
Jesus.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Then you got like Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum,
Did they-
Super Mario Bros.
Did
3.
they sell the GTA collection at full price? Was it like a full price, like AAA game, or was it like a bundle kind of deal?
I think it was
San
$40.
Andreas was free on Game Pass day one, but the other ones you had to pay for.
I think I bought the bundle with all 3 on Steam for not very much, like $30
Yeah.
maybe.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Connect Adventures, Nintendogs.
Bro, Nintendogs was dope.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to all those dogs everyone forgot about though.
Yeah, like Tamagotchis.
Yeah. Bro,
Mario
you
Kart
remember
DS.
fucking the Digivices? Were y'all into Digimon?
I was when I
not
was a
really.
kid.
Bro, those
I was aware
Digivices
of
was
it.
Dope.
Huh. OG Sonic the Hedgehog, Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald.
Those were
And
solid.
then-
Those should be higher than fucking Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon are trash.
Yeah. And then OG God of War and Red Dead Redemption. Which actually, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy that the first God of War is in this list, but none of the others, especially with how like critically acclaimed God of War 2018 and Ragnarok are.
Yeah.
Mentioned that earlier. Sony titles hardly ever miss on release.
Oh, actually,
That's-
I stand
that's
corrected.
It's 'cause Sony
This
only
is
has, like, 4
This
titles.
is God of War 2018.
Not the original.
Yeah.
That's because Sony only
don't
has
know,
like
I
4
gotta-
titles they can't miss. It's like all they have left.
Well,
Yeah, God
I
of
gotta
War,
say,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
If it
it.
comes to single player, like the single player experience, Sony is unmatched.
Dude, I am.
For-
I will
I'm
give
talking
them that.
about, you have to look at the developers, not
I
just
am
Sony.
That's
Like the
true.
ones that partner with Sony the same way that Microsoft partners with their developers, like Bethesda and what's the one that made Gears of War?
Gearbox.
Yeah, like those. And Halo, obviously, besides the
doesn't
last
sound
one.
right.
So Naughty Dog,
Isn't
they
that
made the
Gearbox?
Jack and Daxter series.
Gearbox
They
is
made the
Gearbox is
Ratchet and
Borderlands.
Clank.
Yeah.
They made, I think, Sly Cooper. Did they do Sly Cooper?
Who was it? Naughty Dog?
Yeah.
Epic made Gears of War.
Epic, there you go.
That's it.
But then you've got, Insomniac. They do the Spider-Man games and did the Infamous games.
Naughty Dog had like Crash Bandicoot and
Uncharted. The
Yeah,
Uncharted,
Last of
there you go.
Us.
they've done
So-
a handful of other things like throughout the
More than
years.
4 titles. That's what I'm getting at.
And
Last of Us,
Last of Us.
obviously.
yep.
Spider-Man games, upcoming Logan game.
Horizon Zero.
There's a Logan
series.
game?
Yep, the Horizon Zero
Like
series.
Logan
yeah.
X-Men?
Yeah.
Nice.
Can we count Destiny? I don't think we can.
Isn't Destiny 343?
No. It's,
Bungie.
Bungie.
Yeah,
Because
the
after they
OGs.
stopped doing Halo, they went to PlayStation. Or they went to Sony for all their backing.
That's why the PlayStation versions get everything first.
Yeah.
Not so much in 2, but definitely like with
Yeah,
the first
1
Destiny.
it was major. It was like a year before they would get the other content.
There was a little bit of favoritism there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that
That
was
and
kind
Call
of
of Duty for a few
Bungie
years.
giving the finger to Microsoft.
Yeah.
I was really upset.
Because originally Bungie wanted Halo to be on PlayStation as well.
Oh, Microsoft was like, nah, we're only going to keep it on Xbox.
Yeah.
Wasn't it originally developed as like a PC game, and then Microsoft got into it, and then they were like, oh, we can actually like...
So
No,
it was originally going to be a top-down real-time strategy.
Yeah, like Halo Wars. That was like their original plan, was to be like Halo Wars.
Yeah. But they fell behind their schedule so bad, and then ran out of money, so... I gotta think of his name, but it was like the original director of Bungie. I think his name was like Tyson Green or something.
That sounds right.
Basically took out like a big business loan to try and fund Halo, and it ended up like he got so behind on schedule, and then he started seeking out like your major producers and to bail him out, and none of them would get back with him. And then some guy from Microsoft was like, you know, we can take a look at it. And that was right around the time, like a year, maybe 6 months before the original Xbox console came out. And they were like, hey, this would be great
For this
for
new
our
console that we're releasing.
new console. Yeah, but unfortunately the console couldn't handle everything they wanted it to have. And so they basically just scrapped everything that they had already made except for the story, and then just wrote it out as a first-person shooter, because those were kind of becoming popular at the time.
Some of the best documentaries I've seen on YouTube are about Halo CE and Halo 2. Especially Halo 2. That one's got a really interesting story behind it. Because, you know, it was like probably one of the most anticipated games of all time.
And it was supposed to be Halo 2 and 3 story in one game.
Yeah. Well,
They
the
forced
crazy
them to
thing
split it up.
about Halo 2 is that this was still in the early days of like video game reporting, and so when the sequel to Halo Combat Evolved was announced, it fucking set everything on fire.
They announced it in
That's
E3 in
wild.
2003, I think.
And it came out the following year.
I did not realize it was supposed to be top-down.
Yeah.
I wonder how
Yeah.
much, like, shit would have changed if they would have went with the original view that they wanted to for that game.
Yeah, because they were basically trying to dig into the same pie that like Blizzard had with StarCraft.
Not just, like, Bungie, but, like, other stuff, like Rooster Teeth, for example, got big off of Halo, so I don't imagine that happening if they would have done just, like, the top-down RTS style. That and, like,
Yeah, I mean,
just
there's
games as
no
a
format
whole.
for
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth to become what it has.
That and
although
gaming
it's-
as a whole, I think,
It's something
has
totally
been
different
inspired
now.
by it. Oh yeah. They've kind of.
They're
big
doing one
into
last
more
season, I
podcasts
thought.
and
I've
shit.
seen advertising about it.
They are. I think it's.
Well, yeah, of the red
final.
versus blue, but I'm talking like Rooster Teeth as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have all kinds of shit now, like Ruby and.
I mean, would they have made Achievement
Podcast.
Hunter without Red versus Blue?
I feel like some kind of edition of it, yeah, because they had like the drunk gamer stuff going on like before they did the Red versus Blue stuff, but
Yeah.
it would have been very different to what it is now. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really upset the other day talking about like old developers and stuff. I was looking for the Ratchet and Clank games because like the first 3 games I had for my PS2, which my mom got me for my 5th birthday, that was like my first console ever. This is the only video game I had really growing up, besides like a DS. And I got Lego Star Wars. I got like the Cars video game, like the tie-in for the movie that they made, which was an okay game. And then Ratchet and Clank Deadlock, and I wanted to try and see if it was on Steam, and because it's a Sony exclusive, it's nowhere on Steam. The most recent Ratchet,
Yeah, only the most recent one.
yeah,
I think.
and
is
it
on Steam.
just came out there. Like I saw advertised in the Steam page, and I was like, oh yeah, Ratchet and Clank. I should get the one I grew up with, and it's just not on there.
You know, I've never played a Ratchet and Clank.
They're
game.
really fun. Although I was also like 10 years old when I played this game, so I think the bar is pretty low. But
I'm just over here waiting for the Jack and Dexter re-release.
I always thought
No, that's
Same
what
time.
I always thought Jack and Daxter was Ratchet and Clank because they look so similar and they're both Sony titles.
They're both Naughty Dog
Yeah.
games.
I mean, like you can look at them, you could just tell like they're like semi-related.
Same
Yeah,
studio,
it's-
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Like everything has to end eventually, but I mean, some of those titles that Naughty Dog were pushing out forever just felt unstoppable. Because I mean, you got to think like Naughty Dog came up with Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
You know,
Did they-
Jack and
did they do
Daxter,
Spyro?
like,
Yeah,
Who did Spyro?
Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are the same devs, I think. I'm like 90% sure Jeremy's right about that.
Spyro
no,
was big as
Activision.
fuck.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. Yep.
Why do you think they were worth $63 billion?
Yep. Absolutely. God, I forgot they used to make shit like besides like Call of Duty.
I think it's funny to me that
They made the
I
Guitar
think it's
Hero
funny
games.
that COD
Yeah.
and Spyro come from the same like father.
Who was it? What?
COD and Spyro, they're like
No, excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Activision published it. Developed by Toys for Bob and Insomniac Games with Vivendi Games
Toy,
that I've never heard
Toys
of.
for Bob is the
Insomniac.
people that did Skylanders. That fucking cash grab.
What?
You don't remember
You don't know what
those?
Skylanders is?
For the Wii.
No.
Well, it might have been.
Yeah, I
for
think
other consoles,
I don't
too,
remember
but
what it
I
was
think
for.
it was
but
biggest on Wii. I think.
Was that after our time?
it was like it would have been like as you were graduating.
It
they
was
would've
like
been
08,
coming out.
09.
No. It was like
And see
kid
what's
shit.
crazy to
Yes.
think about is that if something like Skylanders were to come out today, it would be hugely successful.
Oh yeah. It was
I
revolutionary.
remember my sister
like,
was
the
into that like
technology.
the Pet Pals thing, whatever that was called. I don't remember what it's called.
It was like to play the game, you had to have these little figurines that you would like scan in, and it was like
It was
Yeah,
like
so
it was like the
came with,
first
like, a
run
little
of
docking
Amiibos.
station.
yeah.
Yeah, it came with a little docking station, and you would put the figurine on it, and it would recognize that you had it, and then you would have that character. Otherwise, you were just running around with Spyro and one other character. And speaking of Amiibo, like, those things sell for money now.
Yeah, a lot of the original Smash
Really?
Bros. Ones are really expensive, and some of the Mario Party ones. Dude, the
I wish I would have
the,
got into
the
it.
only amiibos I have are for Yoshi's Woolly World, because it's like the only game I have for my Wii U. I've got the Paper Mario game, and Yoshi's Woolly World, which is like I think one of the best games of all time. If you haven't played it, you should get an emulator and play it. It's Yoshi platformers are so fun.
I played one of them on the. I think it was the Switch. One
Oh,
of the Yoshi.
Yoshi's
games.
Crafted World. That is the new one. Yeah, I 100% of that
I
game.
think so.
It is so much fun. The only thing that was annoying was there's a lot of backtracking because there's a lot of collectibles, and there's literally 2 different stages because every stage is a flip side. So you literally have to play the level you just beat over again. But there's very creative, and I love the art styles. They always pick a new one. Like Yoshi's Woolly World was wool. Crafted World was like 3D crafts. The original Yoshi's Island was like a children's coloring book, which is like super unique art style. And then Like the 3DS one was like oil canvas. The only one that didn't have like a unique art style was Yoshi's Island DS, and that was just supposed to be like a sequel to the original Yoshi's Island. They weren't thinking that far ahead yet. The Yoshi games always slap.
I can believe it. I really only played that one. I was more into like Mario and like Kirby.
Yeah.
I love the Kirby games. Kirby games were solid too.
Like I said, I never really played shooters, so I started hanging out with you guys. I used to like exclusively play platformers. Like I loved like the Mario platformers, like the 3D ones and the 2D ones.
I guess I was pretty big into Nintendo, like growing, like thinking back, because like my first console was the N64, and then I was big into like Game Boy and then the GameCube.
Do you still have your N64?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
I would go back and play some Pokemon Stadium, dude.
That's the other thing I used to be really into too, is Pokemon. Like when I was in high school, I got a Game Boy like my sophomore year, and I just like, I don't know why, but I just wanted to like see what was on it, and so I started playing Pokemon, and I had never played one before, and it was like 2016 when I started playing. I was just like fell in love with Red and Blue and Yellow. Like even now, like all these years later, going back to it was like such a classic game. Like you can just tell there was so much like heart put into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember one of the coolest things about like, which going to the doctor sucks. I hate doctor's offices, but I do remember like a lot of the hospitals and stuff back in that time would have N64s like in the waiting area, like the
Yeah,
ER.
They'd have like
for
they'd have like
example, I
Pokemon
had-
Snap on there.
Bro, like it was crazy. Like I had real bad asthma, so I would have to go to the emergency room a decent bit as a kid. But when I was there, I would always play the, which somehow I got a little better once I got there. But I would play the fucking Pokemon Stadium, just sitting there waiting to get like called back to do my like breathing treatment and all. And that was just, even though I was at the hospital, but that was still one of the memories that kind of sticks out, just fucking playing Pokemon Stadium at the hospital. Definitely don't do that shit anymore. But
Yeah.
Is it the hospital here?
yeah, Sacred Heart Hospital, I remember.
Strange.
And I want to
I've
say,
only been in there a couple times.
what is it, not West Florida, what's the one in Milton?
Baptist? Oh,
Santa Rosa Hospital?
yeah.
I think that one had one too at one point,
Interesting.
if I'm not mistaken. But I remember for sure Sacred Heart Hospital. But
Do you
yeah, that's
do you
wild.
guys have favorite Pokemons?
We're doing
Yeah.
favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, we've moved on to favorite Pokemons.
Okay. So, are we talking like all time, like?
I
All-time
assume you
favorite.
guys all like Gen 1 Pokemon. I think you told me yours before, and I don't want to say it because I want to let you say it. But I'm like 90% I know who it is.
Wait, why are you assuming it's Gen 1? Are you calling us like boomers?
no, just because when people think about Pokemon,
I mean, we kind of are Pokemon
the most
boomers.
iconic is Gen 1. And like, if you look at like all the Pokemon
This
games,
shit's been out for over 20 years now.
every Pokemon game has like a ton of Gen 1 Pokemon, except for Gen 5 because that was like its own thing.
That's
But-
true. I was just fucking with you. I don't know how I became it, but I feel like you're like the group's son. And I feel like it's my responsibility to nurture you and
Mhm.
teach you about just different things we grew up on. But so I do kind of feel like a boomer in that sense.
I figured you guys
But
were gonna say Gen 1.
Lapras is my favorite. Though.
Lapras.
Pokemon transcends generations, so
It really does.
there's really no right or wrong answer.
True.
Yeah. But Lapras is my like OG.
Lapras.
Like for some
Hell yeah.
reason,
Yeah.
Lapras stuck with
I
me.
really liked, like in terms of like water and ice types, I liked Cloyster. I thought he was pretty cool.
That's your favorite.
No, we're just talking about. I was like, Lapras is a water ice type. My favorite is from Gen 1 is Haunter, the middle between Ghastly and Gengar. I like the ghost Pokemon. They're like my favorite in like all of the series. The ghost ones are always really
Yeah,
cool.
they are pretty.
Haunter?
solid.
Haunter, yeah. So like
Yeah, it's
Ghastly's
the
like
evolve of Gas.
Ghastly's like a little ball, and then Haunter's like a shadow.
You don't like Gengar?
Gengar's like fat and like round.
Gengar is a scary looking
Not
dude.
really. I think Haunter's more scary than
Literally,
Bro, have you
eats
seen that
dreams.
trunk?
Have you seen Gengar in the Pokemon show from season 1?
Kai.
I'm pretty sure he looks freaky.
He's not really in season 1 that much. The only time that you see him in like
What?
I've watched the first like 4 seasons of the Pokemon anime. The only time he's like in the show is like when they go to the Pokemon Tower, which is like the Pokemon graveyard.
Yeah.
And he's like
Yeah.
he's in there for like 3 minutes, and Haunter's like the one that's haunting them. Gengar is like chill.
Bro, that and like the one with the Abra, like where they all have like the weird fucking symbols on it.
Yeah, that
Alakazam.
episode's freaky.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And they have
You
to
said
catch a
Abra.
ghost Pokemon.
Or yeah, Alakazam. Yeah, you're
They
right.
have to catch a ghost.
Then there's the
Oh.
episode with the giant Gengar too.
Yeah.
Right.
Bro, Pokemon was solid.
But my favorite all time is Toxicroak. If you didn't play Diamond and Pearl, you won't know who that is.
Toxicroak. Yeah, I don't know anything after Gen 3, to be honest.
He's like a blue.
Imagine a bipedal frog that likes punching people
Yeah.
and is poisonous.
And he has like a
Lol.
karate wrap around his like midsection, kind of.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like him a lot. It's poison and fighting type. Like it's such a cool type. But Gen 1 definitely Haunter, for sure. What about you, Logan?
My all-time is actually Zoroark.
From Gen 5?
I don't
Yeah.
no idea who that is either.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who that one is.
He's the one that is like a wolf with like red hair, and he can like transform into other Pokemon.
It
I'm
doesn't
having to look
transform
it up.
into other Pokemon. It's an
He's
illusionist.
an illusionist, yeah. I've never actually played Gen 5 because
Hang on, I gotcha.
Gen 5.
Maybe.
I'm looking
See if
at it
this
right
works.
now.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that dude.
No.
Yeah, I've never actually played
Um,
Gen 5 because Gen 5 is like the physical cartridges go so expensive on the secondhand market. What were you gonna?
Yeah,
say?
I like a good chunk out of Gen 5, surprisingly.
Yeah,
Um,
it gets hated. It gets
So
overly hated.
was that black and
Yes,
white?
black and white.
Yeah.
That's like the most
Okay,
expensive
yeah.
Pokemon.
I kind of skipped that generation.
Most people did. I think it's probably one of the better Pokemons. I think Pokemon peaked at Gen 5 because Gen 6 and 7
Yeah,
are
you-
kind of rough.
Like you didn't miss a whole lot with 5, but like there are some like really good designs.
Yeah, the cool.
As well as like good names to go with the
Yeah,
designs.
and
as
there's
well.
some good themes for like the different Pokemon too. Like I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like there's just so many good designs. And one of the cooler things about the game too is like that Gen 5, like the games pushed the DS to its limit. Like they were like doing all kinds of stuff that you'd never seen in a DS game before. Like they had like 3D graphics and like some of the cities you would go into.
Okay, so that was like the start
Yeah,
of that.
no, like
You know what?
Yeah.
I think I did play a little bit of it. Is that the one with the Eiffel Tower?
no, that's Gen 6.
No, that was 6.
Gen
Oh,
5 is
shit,
you're in
never mind.
America, and Gen 6 is you're in France, and then 7's Hawaii.
That's
yeah.
right. So that's X and Y, right?
Yeah.
And Gens
Yeah.
1 through 4 are all just Japan, like just different prefectures of Japan. That's why like Gen 4 is like more snowy, and like Gen 3 is like more islandy, and then Gen 1 and 2 are just like mainland Japan. And then like the
Was it Kanto,
Kanto, Johto,
Kanto, Johto, Hoenn.
Hoenn,
and then
yeah.
Sinnoh is Gen 4. And they all have different themes. Like Gen 1 is like science, Gen 2 is like history, Gen 3 is like nature, Gen 4 is like mythology, and then Gen 5 is philosophy. It's like truth and lies. And that's like the theme of the game is like the two legendaries are based off that. And then I think they just stopped trying at Gen 6 because I have no idea what Gen 6 and 7 are based on.
So Thanos is the boss in Gen 5?
Truth and lies. Yeah, basically. There's like some super edgy antagonist to that game. I think his name's like N or something. I don't know. Sean would know more. I've never actually played the game. Sean would know more than me.
I don't remember. It was a decade ago.
I didn't play. I played Gen 4, and then I own 6 and 7, but I haven't put more than like 2 hours into them because they suck. And then Gen 8 was the last one I played. And I have not touched Gen 9 because I've seen all the issues online about Scarlet and Violet. Like, they looked like the definition of half-baked. We were talking about Nintendo never missing. They missed pretty hard on that one.
Yeah, but Pokemon isn't like a true Nintendo title
Yeah,
anymore.
it's like they
It's Game
they
Freak.
own the rights to Pokemon, but Game Freak makes the games. They just need to have someone else develop the games. They just if they handed over the title to somebody else, I think someone else could do way better with it. To be honest.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, I'm kind of looking forward to that like Pokemon with guns game. Have y'all
Is
seen
that an
that?
official thing or is that
No.
like a fan thing?
No, it's not related to Pokemon, but it's basically Pokemon with guns.
Is it made by Nintendo or is it like another?
No. It's gonna be like on like Xbox and PlayStation and all that. But it's some other party that's doing it. But I'll drop the trailer. And if you're listening to this, definitely go check out the trailer. But I think we're about a little over an hour, so we should probably kind of wrap it up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. If we do release this one, and tune in for the next one.
Better.
Any parting words, boys?
I hope this is just locked in your computer files for like decades and never sees the light of day.
Yeah.
That's so fucked.
Anyways, we'll catch y'all next time.
Deuces.